Hey, Pirate Prepper here. 23. 23 years ago, tragedy occurred. And since then, a lot of people and a lot of things have happened. We can look back on this date with a somber reflection. We can look at it as dawn of a new age. I say that part because, excuse me, my kids, for example, have no concept of the times before, when you could go into the airport and not be groped by TSA. Thanks, that was fun. When you could, again, go to the airport, just watch the planes. Go out and go to the restaurants there when they actually were decent. And they don't know of pre-security days and things like that. I feel sorry for them for that. 23 years later, I won't say it doesn't still bother me. And I'm reminded of my grandfathers and that generation who also faced a surprise attack, something tragic, and their attitude towards people because of it. I'm not saying they're right, I'm not saying they're wrong. I'm saying that an attitude was cultivated both by the government and by the actions of that opposing government that created an entire generation of hatred, of distrust, dislike, and I find myself in the same boat. Ironic choice of words. But today we have to look back and say that this was a tragedy. And what have we done about it? 23 years of the global war on terror. Now, 23 years of remembering, 22 years of memorial services. '23 is a big number. Myself, I look at that number and kind of wonder. A couple of the kids I work with, and yes, I will call them kids because they don't remember 9/11. They were alive. They were 3. But they don't understand. And honestly, I hope they never do. Because I now do understand why my grandfather disliked products made in a certain country and go out of his way to buy things not made there whenever possible. So I guess today's tip is be a little introspective. Have a look at where you've been, where you've come from, what molded you, what shaped you. And realize even the tragedies can be a positive if it points you in the right direction. Myself, that incident, tragedy, horrific event, call it what you will, kind of cemented my attitude towards prepping, having enough supplies on hand to deal with situations where, well, now the trucks aren't running, now the buses aren't running, now the planes aren't flying. Because if you remember back, the planes weren't flying. A lot of trucks weren't running. Things got a little thin here and there, depending on where you were at. Everybody was scared. And they got mad. And when you get mad, you make poor decisions. So you need to put yourself in a place where you don't have to make decisions like that. To where you have enough food and supplies on hand to start, so you're not having to go to Walmart and take those risks when other people are losing their minds. Anyway, keep prepping and keep the people who died that day or because of that day in your prayers, in your thoughts. One of these days, everybody who remembers that day will be gone. It'll just be a footnote in the history books. Much like Pearl Harbor. Who remembers it now? Anyway. Pirate Pepper out.